Hey everybody, it's your old pal Chuck. Happy New Year, and I'm back with another review. And today we're taking a look at something brand new and kind of unique and interesting. This is from the Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves line. These are called Dicelings. These are transformable, oversized dice that turn into characters and monsters from the Dungeons and Dragons universe. Right here in black, we have, and I have to read this off the packaging, I do apologize, a Rakor. This is Owlbear. And then we have Themberchaud. Yeah, Themberchaud, right here in the reddish orange. As I said, these are oversized dice, and I've spoken to friends who play Dungeons and Dragons a bit more regularly than I do, that because of the balance issues and hinges and stuff, these are not suitable for regulation play. These are just suitable for display. And as I said, they do transform. So what we'll do is we'll pause and we'll take a look at Rakor first. Okay, so just some generalities before we get started. Getting these into their beast modes is a lot easier than getting them back into their dice mode, and it has to do with getting the limbs in the proper position. I will do my best to show you where they're supposed to go because I will go back and forth since this is a new line. I also, in case you were wondering, got these all from Amazon. They're supposed to come in March, but they came early. There was a set of 4. 3 of them has shipped early. 1 is still waiting. So I don't know if it's going to pop up any day now or it's going to hold on to March. So, very nice dice, by the way. This is what I remember the die looking like. Now, since this is a darker colored one, you do run the risk of, number one, not being able to see the tabs as well or the numbers as clearly, which will help you figure out positions and where to transform. Also, but on the other hand, it hides the gaps pretty well. So what you want to do is try to line up with the number 13 right there, or have these 2 hinges on the bottom and then come into the top and split the sides open. And you want to just go ahead and fold out these side panels. I think you can figure out these will be the wings of the dragon. Next, what you want to do is turn it 180 degrees, so now the wings are on top. You want to flip, rotate, fold this section all the way back out to the tip. This will be the tail. Now the instructions then show you being able to flip out the head. But as you can see right here, the back legs kind of cover up the head. So you're going to have to move the back legs out of the way and then flip up the head. Now this is really only on Rakor because of the extra soft rubber tusks. Themberchaud, which, spoilers, will transform the same way, doesn't have that issue. And do keep in mind that there is a little like resting spot right there for the head. So get that up out of the way. We got those legs out. Flip out the front paws, and you would think you're done, but no, they added a little twist in here. Rotate the feet backwards, and then what you're going to do is rotate the legs all the way around. And then proceed to rotate the back legs down so they're facing the proper direction, just like so. And then these panels are actually on a hinge, so you can rotate them back. That will actually support the wings holding up. And then I think you're supposed to digigrade the rear legs here to give them a little bit of an extra stance. There's plenty of hinges there. And make sure the wings are core in its dragon mode. There are plenty of swivels, hinges here to pose it around. You can obviously pose the wings however you see fit. If you pose the legs to get more of that underbelly, the head here does have an opening jaw. And I do see a peg in there. I don't know if that's for a blast effect. Now, you do see one of my problems with the figure is these soft rubber tusks are kind of just, they're warped because of the transformation and the storage. So you're going to have to work on getting that out of the way. But there's a ball joint here on the head. There is a swivel here down on the neck. The feet are all, and paws are all on ball joints, and there are hinges there in the arm. So you do have quite a bit of articulation for this guy or girl. I really don't know the gender. I don't know if it's a good guy or a bad guy or what have you. So there is that. Okay, now we're going to go transform it back. So close up the mouth. Bring the wings forward just to give yourself some room. Go ahead and rotate the feet now if you want. Bring them up, straighten them out. I mean, we're going to fold them up in a minute. Bring that whole section back and around. Basically, with the arms, you want to try to get them. There's like a. No, it's not going to work. You want it to like be somewhat flat, and I mean it's these paws that get in the way. So just bring it up like so. And as I said, I would recommend folding the head up now so you can get the legs around those side horns. Ugh. And don't forget there is that little groove section where the neck is going to sit, and then fold up the dragon's feet. So kind of looks like that. Hopefully I have that right. Fold up the tail, fold up the tip, and then just hinge it upward. There is going to be a lot of fiddling. I'm not going to lie. This does fiddle. Yeah, you got to get that head down more. Oh boy. Ugh. It just. Ugh. Okay. There we go. You want it like curled up like that. And, oh god. And there's a tip to the tail that's going to sort of sit in that groove there. And then what you can do is start bringing these panels down, and they tab in along the side. Make sure you get, I would say, fold everything up as much as you can and just give it the good old Transformer squeeze. And there we go. Like I said, a little fiddly, but there's Rancor back in its dice mode. So we'll pause and we'll take a look at Owlbear. Okay, so Owlbear is a little bit lighter, so it should be a little bit easier to see. Unfortunately, one of the problems we have with Owlbear is that there are some double joints inside with the bear arms, and you have some double hinged panels here that getting it back into dice mode makes it a little fiddly. So what you want to do is look for the number 8, and then go ahead and flip that up, get it back. This will be a little loose for the time being. And then proceed to open up these outer shells on that hinge. And I guess right now you can go ahead and fold them out on the double hinge there in the back. And pay attention to how the paws and stuff are folded up. That's how you're going to want it to get back into dice mode. Grab the whole central section here, rotate it around. That'll bring things up. At this point, flip up the paws, and then flip down the bear legs. The paws are on ball joints, and the hinges for the knees are a little tight, so just be mindful of that. Then what you can do is come around the back. Oh, before you do that, you want to rotate the panels that the paws are on so that the paws are the palms are facing towards you. Next, what you want to do is flip up this panel right here. It's the double hinge. Fold this one back. Flip up here and here. You don't want to fold up this one because you want to have a lot of that feathering exposed. Finally, we can bring up the owl head, push it as far back as it will go, fold this panel down so it'll sit flat against the back, and then just pose it up because here's Owlbear in its beast mode. As you can see, there's the nice detailing there. The paws are on some sort of hinge. Really, the articulation is going to come from the arms. You have a ball joint here, ball joint here. The head is on a ball joint, and you can do the whole owl rotation thing. So again, I don't know if this is a good guy, don't know if it's a bad guy, don't even know if they have characterizations like that in the game, let alone what's going to be coming in the movie. But it's kind of nice. I mean, I kind of dig it. So to get things back, let's start bringing the arms back up like so. Bring this panel back up. You'll want to bring that head down as far as it'll go. Come around, flip these panels back out. You can start bringing the arms, that hinge, and you can see the hinge right here. You're going to want it folded up so that everything is straight. You mean, obviously you're not going to see just like that, but you're not going to want to do that just right now because you want a little bit of the space to manipulate things. So fold these panels back down. Make sure you fold them both on that double hinge so it's flat. And then bring up the paws. You want to rotate the paw as far in as you can, just like so. Rotate this torso back around. It'll kind of soft friction into place. And here's when you're going to start bringing everything in. So you want to, bring in the joints there and collapse that double hinge so it's flush and straight, and start closing up the panels and stuff. And again, this one is a little. Oh, I almost forgot. Yeah, you caught me. Rotate the panels with the paw around, and then fold the paws up. Yeah, you're not going to be able to do anything if you don't do that. But now with everything rotated up, just go ahead, start pegging things into place. Like I said, it isn't pretty. This is how these are shell formers, and when dealing with animals in the limbs, you do have that problem where one thing can get knocked out of place. So bring this down, and now you got to kind of massage it so that one top panel will peg into the two side panels, which, oh, look how wonderful. These are the ones with the double joint, which if you try to apply pressure to it, will kind of collapse in on itself. But you just get it just so, and obviously these are not for. I can see younger hands getting a little frustrated with these. I can see older hands getting quite frustrated with these. But once you have that done, everything comes together, and there you go. I mean, it is unfortunately a little gappy, but that's how these things are. And like I said, these aren't for official play. So that's Owlbear. Let's pause and take a look at them Themberchod. Thunderchild is another dragon, and will actually transforms exactly the same as Rakor. So, but it's a little bit easier since it is a lighter plastic. You'll be able to see things different, and there is some retooling on the head and the tail. I think makes it a little bit easier. So, out of the three, I would say maybe this is the one you want to pick up first if you want to try it out. So, much like with Rakor, split these panels open, just like that, just like that. You can see the different coloring on the inside here. Uh, Rotate it around. The tail feels a little bit tighter than on Rakor, but that could just be my copy. So flip it out all the way. And here you can see how the head is easier to flip out now, since it doesn't have those extra bits. Oh, and I did pop the head off there, but it goes right back on. Joints there are a little tight, so there you go. And let's just go ahead and flip down the legs. Flip these out, just like so. And then straighten these out. Rotate the paws around. Rotate that whole hip section. Bring it down. Bring it down. Bring these wings up. Rotate them back so they sit a little bit higher. And let's digigrade the legs. They're just like that. Boy. And there's Themberchaud in its dragon mode. And of course, the mouth does open. You have a rotation. Oh, you have a rotation at the neck. And, the wings. Again, you can just pose this however you want. I think it can sit back a little higher if you want to have have them up more. I mean, I don't know what traditional poses are for dragons, but there's something like that. I dig it. I think it is the easiest to transform, so there is that. But yeah, I mean, I think these look really cool, and it's nice to have. These are smaller scale. I don't know if you're a dungeon master or not. If you would want to use these in a game, have a transformable aspect to it. But I think that's about it. We'll skip transforming Thunderchild back, since it is the same as Rakor, and we'll just come back with my final thoughts. Okay, so I think I've given you guys a good idea of what to expect from these. Yes, they are a little fiddly, especially getting them back into the dice form. If you're not a fan of Dungeons and Dragons, you're probably not going to have a connection to these characters or beasts, because you've just never heard of them before, like I have. The instructions, unfortunately, are kind of garbage. They're black and white. They highlight stuff in red. It kind of makes me wonder if this was done by the Transformers team, since it looks like the usual Transformers garbage instructions. But yeah, on the positives, these look really cool. It is fun to have scaled monsters for Dungeons and Dragons, and let's be honest, it's been a while since we've had a legitimate Dungeons and Dragons toy line, and I think that's something Hasbro is going to do with the new movie. Whether that movie's live action or animated, I don't know. I didn't even know it was coming. It might even be a new game type source book. But yeah, that looks fun. I mean, we do have they are doing Marvel Legends style figures for the movie as well as the animated series. So the original animated series from the 80s, so that was kind of cool. And that's really about all I can say. As I mentioned, I did get these from Amazon. These were supposed to come in March. They ended up shipping way earlier. So New Year is same as the old year. Um, I think it's something that has to be discussed at some point. But uh, so keep an eye out for these. They're about 13, 14. They're about $14 after tax, for maybe closer to 15. Um, so if you want to pick one up, they are in the new plastic-free packaging, so you will not be able to see the quality of the dice in terms of paint detail and stuff until you get it home. So that's unfortunate. But as I said, these are not for smaller hands. I think these are for bigger hands that won't get as frustrated. Although I can see people getting frustrated with them, so there's that. So my overall opinion is middle of the road. As long as you know what you're getting into, I think you might enjoy these quite a bit, and they do make a nice display piece. So that's about it for the review. If you like this review, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. While I will always appreciate the views, the likes, comments, and subscriptions help to communicate to YouTube through their algorithms that my channel should be exalted and held upon high. If you want to make the ultimate sign of support, I do have a Patreon. It is www.patreon.com/ChuckDog1999. All I ask for is $1 a month, $12 a year. No thrills, no tears, no special rewards. All you're doing is helping me help you, help me to help you bring figures like this to you, as well as keeping up the infrastructure of the channel. It is a new year. It is the first month, so it's a great jumping on point for my Patreon. Especially if you've got a little extra Christmas money still laying around. But as I always say, I more than understand if you don't. We are in a bit of a harder times now. There's inflation, there's recession. Stuff is just a bit more expensive. Toys are becoming a bit more expensive. So if you can't swing the $1 a month or $12 a year, as I always say, your views are more than thanks enough. Um, Patreon is a cherry on top of an already generous Sunday. And I appreciate you guys checking my videos out, especially when I do new stuff like this that really hasn't been tested yet, and to even see if there's an interest in it. So that's about it for the review. This is your old pal Chuck for Rakor, Owlbear, and Themberchod. And I hope I'm pronouncing those names right. We will see you next time.